everyone, I have what I have left of the March kits. Not very much at all. In fact, no paper. The only papery thing I had was this, where we used texture paper through a stencil, texture paste through a stencil that was left over from one of the layouts. So I used the other half on a layout. I haven't used this. Maybe I'll use it, I'm not sure. I'm not going to use it here, but maybe I'll put it in my stash to see. Obviously, I've got the palette and the 3 Distress Oxide inkers, and you can see I've used a fair bit, so that's about half. It's a bit hard to see. It's about half full. I just shook that one up. That was silly. The other 2 through. It's up to here, so about half. But I did a lot of mixed media, and they go so far. I have one little tiny word, and it says one more chapter, and it'll be perfect for any of my son's book photos. So I'm going to throw that in the bin, and I've just put that little one more chapter sticker on my pegboard here, because then I'll remember to use it. All I've got left of the thickers are 3 hashtags, the word saving and the word big. We'll see how I get to use them. I've got all these, just a few of the words. These are all the ephemera I've got left, and then a few tags, but I did use a lot as well, and 1 frame. So that's a pretty awesome killed kit. In fact, it was really fun to play with. I made 20 layouts, 2 tag albums, and 2, like a 1 back and front Project Life spread. So I got a fair bit, a lot, out of this kit. So I've got them in order here. Let's go through them. It's a bit hard because the tag albums are in there, so it might, oh, I'm trying to pick up that last one. It might fall a little, but I don't want them to. Okay, so this was awesome. I love this layout. I used a stamp around the border and lots of the Project Live printable cards and the ephemera and printables to make this one. There is a process video. I'll link it down below. Second one, another one with a process video. I love this paper with the words all over it. So I ripped up the top here, add some mixed media behind these frames, and that was a lot of fun. This one's where I made the texture paste, so I made them in the 3 tones, and that's how I made that. That's why I had texture paste left to make that big stencil. Added the lace and then used 3 little sections for this grid layout. This one also has a process video that I can share with you. And then this is fun. As part of being a subscriber on Kitaholic Kits, you get the free cut files as well as free printables. So this one I just kept to the same size and then scaled some of them down. Used the tracing paper, aka vellum, and just put it on here. I kept the bordering strip just because I like that fun bright color, and I just cut this end to make it short. So that one has a process video. This one has a process video that probably just went up just before this came out. Again with the cut file, I made some mixed media paper with the Distress Oxide re-inkers, and then I added a bit of green, and then I fussy cut a whole pile of flowers that were from the printables, and I put it on an 8.5 by 11 black cardstock. I really love that one. So same idea with the mixed media through the cut file. This one I then painted black with my paint pen and then put the stickles over top of it. Used the thickers, the and day, splitting up some of the phrases, and just on top of this floral, adding the photos, some mixed media, and a whole pile of embellishments. So that's really fun. These, I don't think I did a process video for that one, but if I did, I'll leave it below. This one I'm pretty sure I did as well. This one, we got this big circle cut file in the kit. So I got the idea from Anita, I believe, or Deb. One of the people on the DT, one of them, Anita or Deb, I'm pretty sure, cut it and overlaid it. It was Deb, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, you can check that out on the channel. But I then cut it differently, and I thought I'd put one side here and one side there. And then I just backed it with all the lovely papers and pattern paper from the Project Life cards as well, and finish that one off. Here's where I use that other half of that stencil that I put the texture paste through. So just nice little simple photo here with a big beautiful cluster and a nice little cluster up here. So that was really fun and simple. Here's my Project Life. So there's one of these weeks that I didn't really have any photos but a lot of memes. So just cut them down and added a little bit of embellishments, not heaps. A lot of these circles and stars from the thicker sheet, and cut this 1.5. So just, you don't always have to have photos. I really didn't, you know, some weeks I just get too busy at work, or things just aren't, you know, aren't photo worthy, or I forget. So this one, these arrows, arrows I want to call them, were all on a paper, and so I just cut them so then I could add them on here with some texture, but also separate them. So just cut them, added this photo in my frame, just a little bit of embellishments. These are the wood veneer that I used my paint pens to change, and then those stickers I again used my paint pen to change it. This one I really, really love. It's actually sideways. So I distressed the edges, but I used the inside of the cut file, and these are 3 of the frames from Dear Lizzie collection, and I've just turned them upside down so that I could have the white. Again, these clouds were leftovers from the cut files, and I just used my silicone brush and the Distress Oxides and just smushed some on. Then I flicked some on, did the bleaching technique, so I flicked water on, left it for a bit, dried it up with paper towel. That gives you this look, and it's just really lovely. Excuse me. Again, inspired by the design team. This one I believe Deb did. No, sorry, Anita did. Oh my gosh, so confused. And you can see I spilled, when I splattered, I got it on their face, but I could always reprint it later. But I fussy cut all these flowers from the pattern paper, and I've just laid it here. It took me so long to work out where I wanted the flowers to go and how, you know, I got it around here, but then I'm like, do I just want that, or do I want to, you know, and this is how it ended up. Added some ink splatters, a couple of word stickers, and that's it. It doesn't even have a title, really. That's funny. Didn't even notice till just then. Here is my first tag album. So if you checked out my video where I experimented with the mixed media, so at the beginning of the month I just explored what the Distress Oxide gosh, apparently that's a mouthful, re-inkers could do, and I made these tags and then used these tags to make a tag album. Again, there's a process video. Just used all these little photos that I had printed of my children, just really crazy little photos, something funny, just nice, something different. Doesn't always have to be the same Project Life or traditional layout kind of style. Look at this one. So yeah, the good thing about these kits, there is so much goodness in there, and if you want more, you can just print more of the printables. There's a wood veneer that I painted, and then I've even put glossy accents over it, so it looks a bit like enamel puffiness. You can see it's just a lot of fun to work on such a little size, so you just work on each tag by itself. But you can definitely check out the process video to see how the tags came together, and then you can watch the process video for how the tag album came together. This one's really cute. And last but not least, the end. Then just added some ribbon from my stash. This one, oh my gosh, it is a beautiful layout, but it took me forever to stitch, but I really like it, so thankfully. Otherwise, imagine if it took me that long and I don't like it. So I just stitched colour on colour, tone on tone over the whole rainbow page. Added these photos. The world was out of the thicker pack, and Explore and Together were out of my stash, and I've just gone over them. I originally went over with them gesso, but then I went over with paint pen. And then same with all these stars and circles, which are from the thicker pack in the kit. Went over them, and then I used the Vicky Bouton watercolor markers that we got in the February mixed media kit. That was really fun. Again, using Distress Oxide on top of the black. What do I mean again? I hadn't done that. No, I hadn't done that. But I had the same thought with the flowers. So these were the different type of flowers that we got in the kit. So I thought this would be a nice, use them the similar way to the previous one. And then I thought, oh, that's right, you can do Distress Oxides over black. But I hadn't played with that before, so I had a good play. This one has a process video, I believe, but definitely check it out if I have. And then so I've used 2 of the pieces of ephemera here. This one was a printed cardstock, and I really like the acetate over top. I also then used the resin flowers that we got, and again covered the thickers. Obviously I'd cut out a lot of those flowers and stuck those leaves on, so I figured I'd use them all while I had them there. Adding 2 branding strips here, and then a little cluster at the top, and then all these flowers in a little cluster at the bottom. Again with the resin flowers, and then use them all, and then ink splattered around. This one here, this mixed media was inspired by the frame and has little squares of colors, sort of like post-its, but instead I used a paintbrush and just dabbed on, and then I just lay it up behind this frame. I've got the paper bag, some packaging, and then some tracing paper, and then the frame. I need to go over this word again with paint pen because obviously it mustn't have been dried properly. But there, just some wood veneer and some little tiny words. I used the hearts from my stash. So because I actually colored, I put water in some of the, and then had this was just pure color. So I had a lot of color on my desk. So I made 3 layouts, just putting the whole color all over, and then I use them backgrounds to make layouts. So this one I stamped with some Distress Oxide, and then some stamped with some black. Just used some paper scraps and a doodly border. Yellow thickers from my stash, but the rest is from the kit. And then I seen I had all these Project Life cards. Most of them are vellum, aka tracing paper, aka vellum, or acetate. So I backed them with white cardstock, punched a hole, stapled them, and then I worked on each card again. So this one doesn't have any photos in it because I'm going to give it as a gift, but you can see how cute it is. So some like this, not really much room for a photo, but this one you could put photo or journaling. This one's just nice to stitch on that wood veneer and put it in. This one has room for a photo, again for a photo. This one you could put a photo in there or some journaling. Just a nice filler card. Some more journaling. Filler card. Space for a photo. Filler card. Ooh, get on. This one you could tuck a photo in there. Again, some little journaling and a photo. Group photo. This one has the frame, so you can either tuck a photo in or have one that's smaller. Filler. Again with the frame. Spot for whatever you want to do, but this one is acetate. You could always put it under, and then it could be sticking through that little section. Plenty of room on this one. And that's a really nice one with the flowers. Again with the frame. Just pretty. Filler one. A nice, you can either leave it like that or put something up the top here. Got awesome. You could plenty of room here. And then last one is the happy-go-lucky. So I started putting the, what's that called? Stickles on top of it. And then I realized when I unpacked it, I thought, oh, we just got two of the words happy-go-lucky. But when I was covering this one, I said, I'm thinking, why is the K so thick on the bottom layer? And then I realized this one was a top, so you could see it. So they were layered up. So this one's got the stickles behind it and then the yellow on top. So that's just a fun. These have got the acetate on top of the cardstock. Fun tag album present. This one was that blue background. Just pulled out any of the blue, any and every pretty much blue ephemera piece I had, and I've just stuck them down. So you can see some vellum, some acetate, some are cardstock. Just use what we can. And this one I was going to use how it was a blue floral, got a sequin on there, sorry, a blue floral frame, but then I used my paint pen to put blue over it. So because it's a swimming photo, it's really fitting. This one is just a bit interesting and fun. Again, I used the background that I'd painted on, used 2 border strips, and I cut it so they can have a little bit over here. Found this little photo and this frame just reminded me of Cinderella and Mirror Mirror on the wall. So sprinkled on the sequins and just very simple. Cut this out of pattern paper and outlined with the black pen. Again with the border strips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 border strips. I just put 2 rows of tape here and then I just stuck them down, cut them off. Stuck some more down, cut them off, stuck them, and literally there's just one of each of these 5 branding strips. This one's thicker, this one's really thin, and then these are probably normal size, and it made it all the way across. That was really fun. So then I used the packaging technique to get some Distress Oxide down. Use this lace cut file. Thickers from my stash, and these little bits are from my stash as well, but the paper is from the kit, and then I layered up 2 little labels. So that's a really fun monotone kind of a page, little orange and yellow, but tiny little black. And then last not least, to use up all the last of the pattern paper, I started layering up and to work out what I could do. Added this photo collage in there, and then cut some paper strips to write my journaling on with a pink pen. Little cluster up the top, tiny cluster at the bottom, and Bob's your uncle. So yes, 20 layouts, 2 tag albums, and 2 sides, like a back and front of the Project Life. And Project Life is not, obviously, it was, what size is it? I think it's actually a baseball size, kind of like baseball cards. So it's a bit of an unusual size. But nonetheless, you can see that you can get so much out of the kit, especially if, you know, that's using 1 pattern paper and some embellishments. This one here is really just using the cut file pieces in 3 frames and the mixed media. I forgot to say, did you see how I roughed the edges and cut and put some under there? And then, yeah, you can really just have a little play with what you can get from them. But I really love that you get free cut files, really love that you get free printables, and lots of inspiration from the design team on the Kitaholic Kits channel, but also on the design team's channels as well, because we put our projects up, but we also make other things through the month as well. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video and got some ideas for yourself, and hopefully you're well on the way to killing your own kit. And I'm ready to move on to April and get that ready to share with you all. Excellent. Well, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.